We all know that law is really important to population health. There's growing interest in legal epidemiology, the scientific study of the health effects of laws and legal practices. We use legal epidemiology methods to study how laws have their effect on health and to measure the effect they're having. This kind of research starts with proper measurement of the law itself, the exposure in those studies. But how do you know that a study that you're looking at and maybe trusting has properly measured the law? Here are 3 tips to figuring out whether or not a study has properly measured the law and can be relied on in its findings about the effects the law has. First of all, simply, is it transparent? Is there a clear description of where the law, the legal text that was being measured was obtained and how it was obtained? Is there a clear explanation of how the law was coded and who did the coding? Is there a clear description of quality control measures? If you don't even know the answers to those questions, then you really don't know whether the study has properly measured the law or not. So step 1 is, did they tell you the basic facts? Second question you can ask is, did the study use the best evidence out there? In a lot of health policy research, the legal variable is taken from a website or a prior published paper. And when you go back and try and trace the roots of that data, you find out that the website is, well, the links are dead, or the website only has current legal information. It doesn't have historical information. It doesn't tell you how that information was created or any of those transparency points we raised in our first tip. So basically, if someone hasn't actually gone and looked at the actual law that's under investigation, and if they themselves have not captured the differences among the states or the cities in that law, or they haven't gotten data from somebody who has done that homework, then chances are the evidence of the law they're using is not the best evidence, and there may be errors in the measurement. The third question you might want to ask, and really this is the fundamental question, is, did the study properly measure the exposure to the law? When we're doing a study of how law affects health, the question we're asking is, when you treat somebody with the law, what are the effects? So of course, just like with any study of a treatment, you have to make sure that the person you're looking at did or did not actually get the treatment. Usually we're comparing people or states in which people got the treatment and in which they didn't get the treatment. Well, in order to properly measure that, you've got to, of course, first of all, see which places had the law and which didn't. But since studies are typically longitudinal, covering time, you have to also account for differences between places that had the law and then stopped having the law, or didn't have the law and then started having the law. So there's going to be within state differences that you have to measure, and actually you have to make sure that you're measuring them precisely. Depending on the study design, that means at least the month that the law changed, or maybe the day. Also, differences within the same type of law should be captured. So it's easy to say we've studied states that have medical marijuana laws versus states that don't have medical marijuana laws. But the problem is medical marijuana laws differ so much that within the category of, yes, there's a medical marijuana law, you're really comparing a whole basket of different kinds of fruit. And that means that your assessment of effects is going to be way off if you treat all states with a medical marijuana law as if they had the same law, allowing the same level of access to marijuana under the same procedures, under the same circumstances. So ultimately, we're looking to see, did you carefully measure the law, its character, its coverage in time and space, and as we talked about in our first couple of tips, can you show us that you used the best evidence and the best methods to do that? If you want an example of how to do good legal data collection, look at our website, Law Atlas. You'll be able to see through protocols, code books, and the data themselves, in fact, access to the legal text, everything you want to know to verify that we've properly measured the law, so that when studies use data from Law Atlas or PDAPS, our sister site, or the Alcohol Policy Information System, you can be confident that the law has been properly measured. Doesn't mean the rest of the study is good, but today we're focused on making sure that that first step, legal measurement, is reliable.